Hello and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you've been here, welcome. I try to do a video every week. The idea early this year was to try and do 26, so one every 2 weeks for the course of the year. The idea was really because I don't really like speaking in front of the camera, although at the moment I kind of don't mind it. So really it's all about practice, it's all about personal development and all those issues of being midlife and the need to stay relevant by, I don't know, practicing this, for example, training, side hustles and so on. So in the last week, I guess I've been reminded of how life pans out. And what I mean by that is how change happens for everybody, but probably more so for people I know that are going through midlife challenges, I guess. So firstly, a friend of mine just lost his job literally about 4 or 5 days ago. Been with the organisation for, I'd say, probably about over 10 years. He was paid very well, I'm not gonna lie, he did very well out of them, but also he has a lot of overheads, family, going through a separation, etc, etc, and yeah, he's kind of lost his job in his 50s, and that's kind of the stuff that happens, and you don't really, I mean, what do? Again, you've got to get up and work with what's in front of you, but it's a reminder stuff happens at all ages, but it gets harder, I guess, the older you get. Another friend messaged a couple of days ago to say her and husband have separated, or are getting divorced, because when I saw her Facebook page, she changed her surname back to her maiden name, so her married name back to her maiden name. So very clearly it's quite well, I assume it's quite terminal, and that's it. Again, it came out of the blue. Obviously things have been happening that most of her friends weren't privy to, and yeah, it's just another thing for someone of a certain age, late 40s, and has to start again. And I guess, you know, on this channel I've talked about trying to stay relevant, you know, keep on training myself, personal development, trying all these side hustles as we run up to Christmas. Am I going to monetize? Brief response to that, not really. They're not doing anything, but you know, I'm trying things out, and we've all got to try things out because life happens, and that's the point. Sometimes life literally comes out of the blue and takes your legs away. Now, I don't know whether there had been things in the recent past that could have changed the trajectory of that marriage. Maybe they could have gone to marriage counselling. Who knows? I don't know. I shouldn't even try and speculate. On my friend's job, yeah, there were things. There were signs in my head that he was always going to face challenges because people were being made redundant in his organisation every 6 months, I think, or every 3 months in the last year or two, or last year, let's call it last year, every 3 months. He just happens to have been culled just before Christmas, which, yeah, it's not great. So yeah, I don't know, we all just have to keep on pushing forward. You know, you can either stand still and let life happen to you, or you can just try and move on and just hope and pray that you're going in the right direction. And when you realize you're not going in the right direction, have the gumption and the energy to pivot to the right direction. And that's something that I'm, again, trying to make sure that I make more of an effort to, because I've been wedded to too many ideas for too long. So, you know, I can see that my little experiment monetizing on certain things online, Amazon merch and Etsy, aren't going to make me much money. It's certainly the Amazon merch, not a jot, not a dollar. I'm not going to make. I'm saying this quite fatalistically, actually. I haven't made any money with any of my designs. It is what it is. Could try harder, must try harder. But I've got to be willing to go, okay, this current approach I'm taking isn't working. Is it me and the platform? Is Amazon merch not for me? If that's the case, then move on. Am I diffusing my energy? Should I just focus purely on Amazon merch, or purely on writing, or purely on Etsy? That's a question I should be asking myself. Or, should I not even bother with this online space and try and focus more on my work, my job, and that, make sure that is fully secure? Again, it's a question that I need to ask myself, but I think the reality is we all have to keep on asking ourselves questions rather than assume that where we are is where we should be, or where we are is a sustainable path. I think the latter way of looking at it makes more sense. Are we on a path that is sustainable? And life happens. Certain things that you can never imagine will come out of the blue, and it happens. But at the same time, sometimes you can see the signs. You can see the signs, and you can change path. I guess I just remembered also, and I don't know why, I don't know whether I mentioned it on a previous video, that a close family member also passed away a few weeks ago, about a month ago now actually, and again, it's one of those, it's a reminder, you just got to keep on pushing on. Again, none of us get out of this alive. All our lives are terminal. We just don't know when it's going to end, and that's a stark reality. We are all terminal. We just don't know when that's going to end. I don't know. This is quite not the most uplifting update. Yeah, again, a lot of the time when you look at YouTube videos, it's all rainbow and sunshines and unicorn and everything's great and la 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 la. When I guess life isn't like that. Again, as I said, in the last month, someone I know has passed away. Someone has just split from her husband. Someone has just lost their job. And yeah, it's how life is. But we all have to stay on top of things. And when I say on top of things, again, sometimes you can't control what happens in life, but what you can do is try to manage your emotions best. And what I mean by manage is not to suppress them, it's to acknowledge, the stages of grief, if that's what needs to happen, to accept that change happens and to embrace where you are. The external things obviously you need to do, whether that is look for a job, look for a counsellor, look for a coach, whatever it is to kind of get you through where you are now. But you also have to stay grounded in yourself and to move forwards. And again, we get to this time of year and do start to think about, what's gone in the past, as in the last year, and what's going to happen in the future. And it's been, I guess, the recent events have been a timely reminder that we have to be grateful for what we have at this exact moment in time. Life might not be perfect, but, as I said in a previous video, we are so damn lucky to have been here in the first place. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that none of us have the right to be here anyway. You know, I'm no biologist, but you know, when the sperm meets the egg, blah blah blah, it could have gone all different directions in terms of life's creation. But you happened, and you're here, and you're in the game. Yeah, that's me going off topic a bit, but yeah, I don't know. Life happens, and we have to keep on embracing the opportunities, but be grateful for where we are at any one time. I think that's really all I have to say today. My side hustle dynamic has kind of hit a roadblock because I haven't pushed on. I know I could do more marketing actually. I've been playing with Pinterest, which is useful actually. I think Pinterest could be something I need to master next year. The next few months, and let's not push it out too far. I know that AI is, we all know AI is here to stay, but I know that I have to go deeper onto Gen AI as a way in which to differentiate myself perhaps at work. Certainly have it as a way in which to drive any side hustles. One concept I'm kind of interested in, I don't know how it's going to evolve, is this idea of having the $1 billion solopreneur. So it's the idea that there'll be a solopreneur who at one point will be able to generate $1 billion in a year working by themselves. And that's because they'll be able to use, you know, AI bots, AI agents, AI in general to do all the work for them. It is kind of fanciful, it's quite out there, but I like the idea of actually we become a business of one in a way that doesn't rely on anybody else, but you can do it for yourself. And again, I'm not going to be that person. There's no way I'm going to be a billionaire solopreneur, but I do feel I can add more Gen AI or AI in general to my processes in life, in side hustles, to stay relevant, to keep on moving forward. Okay, that's really it for today. Hopefully it was informative. Well, hopefully it helped give you some food for thought, because again, I always think there's so much stuff on YouTube which is like, whatever, the so what test doesn't kind of, might entertain you for a while, like a bag of crisps, bag of chips, disposable. But I'd like to think that sometimes these videos will give you something to think about and make you act. Again, ideas are two a penny in this world. I mean, we all have ideas, we all have brilliant innovative thoughts. Doesn't mean anything unless you actually do something with it. And once you've tried to do something with it and it fails, okay, you can move on, or you can iterate, or you can just kind of put it to the side, but at least you've tried it. Ideas are just, you know, they're just there until they die and then they just become weeds. So have a think about what you might have got from this. Put a comment in the below, and if you want to kind of continue to follow my journey, subscribe as well. Again, this is an experiment I think we should all try to do, which is just get our thoughts out there into the ether. YouTube algorithm throws it in someone's face. Hey, have a read of this. It might change your life. It might change someone else's life, which is just as important. So I think that's me for today. And until next time, bye-bye.